thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. I never thought we'd actually be at BronyCon. I never thought we rated this, but apparently they think we do. So, first of all, who here has played either our prologue or Smuggler's Run? Who has no idea what this thing is about at all? You guys are awesome for coming anyway. Awesome. All right. First of all, I'm going to share something with you here. This picture back here, all of you guys who know Fallout, this should look familiar. And you should see 4 very iconic things in it. Fallout Equestria, sorry. To me, it's the same thing at this point. We've got Calamity's hat, we've got Little Macintosh, we've got the medical box, and beneath it, it's a little hard to see, is the emblem for the technology Ministry of Technology.
As those of you who have downloaded the other ones may have seen, we have a new screen every time you boot up the game for one of our new things. This is going to be ours for Chapter 1.
Yes, so this is actually, we have been working on this for about 6 months. Our art director has worked his tail off on this, literally. He doesn't have a tail left. We're starting one of those charity funds for it. All right, so for those of you who haven't played the prologue, and those of you who have had, what I'm going to do real quick is I don't want to go through the entire prologue for you because that's about 20 to 30 minutes. And today is about showing you something you've never seen before, and that's Chapter 1. And I want to give you guys as much time as possible with that.
Portions of Chapter 1.
Portions. It's not all of it. I'm sorry. I'm not that good. But let me set the scene. As a courier, you recently received a message from some new radio station called DJ Pond 3, saying there are strange things happening and asking you to head to Goodsprings. Now, you decided to check it out as a courier, mainly because the DJ Pond 3 keeps saying the word pony, and you're trying to figure out why. It's really strange. So you head towards someone named Gale. Gale says, hey, there's weird stuff happening up in the cliffs. You go up, check out this cave, and you can see this gigantic cave. Lightning's everywhere. Weird things are occurring. There are pieces of billboards through walls. There are pieces of houses inside caves. And it's complete mayhem, complete insanity. And you waltz in there, and suddenly there are about 6 to 7 Enclave trying to kill you. And you're just like, I just walked in here. Why are you guys all shooting at me? So you have the courier defend himself or herself. I usually play for female. Sue me. They also all explode as soon as you kill them. It's weird. Weird stuff happens here. So you finally take out all the bad guys. Suddenly a giant super mutant that's like twice your size appears out of nowhere, knocks you on your butt, and then you basically run around screaming, trying to kill this thing before it kills you. After assuming you survive that. If you don't survive it, well, you can't play the rest of the game. Sorry. Assuming you survive that, you guys get to meet someone called Watcher, who you guys probably know. I saw someone perk up there. And Watcher says, you might be exactly what we're looking for. And he said, you're trying to figure out, okay, what the heck are you talking about? He says, I think it'd be better if he shows you. And then he just decides to cruise on out of the cave. You're like, okay, I guess I should follow him? What? Okay. And then, this is what you see. Can we turn up the sound a bit? This one's a little low.
You've probably already noticed the changes to your world. What you saw in there, in that cave, it was only the beginning. At this moment, we're not exactly sure when this happened. At least, not on your side. On our side, we did something. Something we've waited 200 years to do. And it worked. Wonderfully. Beyond our wildest dreams. It was everything we could have hoped and more. She did it. My Twi did it. She saved us all. But there were side effects. We had a small research group checking out some old ruins. The lead researcher, an individual by the name of Script Legacy, was conducting an experiment. Forget it. Doesn't matter. Here's what you need to know. Right now, there's a rift in reality. It's connecting our worlds, and we can't shut it down from our side. Every moment it remains open, some strange version of our world bleeds into yours. At the moment, our world is safe, but Script says that's only temporary. While the rift is mostly stable over here, yours isn't. Soon, that instability will pass from your world to ours. That'd be bad. Script has already transmitted the data we've managed to gather. He thinks the rift will probably scramble the data, but your Pip-Buck should be able to reassemble it in time. It has to do with arcane quantum mechanics or something. Point is, it'll give you more information on what you're facing. Most of the people in your world won't even react to the changes. Don't even try to talk to others about them. You'll just sound crazy. You're one of the very few people who can perceive the changes. We don't know why. It doesn't matter. We don't have time to figure it out. We need you to find this rift and shut it down somehow. There is some good news, though. From what we're seeing, you won't be alone. Script's readings show something incredible has happened. It's not just memory and things that have changed. There are new people in your world. People who we think are reflections of heroes in our world. Some of the best, in fact. We think they'll be able to help you figure this out. And they'll have seen the changes too. We hope. But that means some of the nastier elements from here have been created, or recreated, on your side. We can't tell how extensive these forces are, though. We're deep in uncharted territory here. We're working on tracking down the location of the rift over there. Until then, all we can do is point you in the right direction. Smaller rifts and distortions are popping up all over your version of New Pegasus. We think one of these reflections may have materialized near a town called Prim. Damn it, I'm losing the connection. I don't think I can fix it. We need to get to Prim and find it. We'll try to contact you.
That is the opening cinematic to Gardens of Equestria This Coming Storm. But that's not actually what you're here for. Watcher in that video describes that you are looking for people. People who have come over, reflections from Equestria. You saw the silhouette of one of those reflections in the opening trailer. And want to take a wild guess who it is? Got it in one. Today you're going to meet Deadshot Calamity. Little Pip's very first companion.
And yours.
And yours. Seemed really fitting.
We have a temporary voice in place right now. We're working with the BA to actually get the voice out. So this is not a final voice product, just FYI.
The other FYI, of course, is everything you are about to see is beta footage, is subject to change. So there's a fair possibility that some of it is going to change. I remember playing this shortly before this and going, I need to change that, I need to change that, I need to change that, and going, I'm not doing any of that right now. By the way, all the slideshows you're seeing right now are actually shots made of the game, different environments. So these are actually places you'll be able to go throughout the course of this story.
And for those of you who have downloaded the prologue, you may have seen this. For those of you who haven't, it also contains a lot of texture replacement. If you want a lot of Equestria in your Fallout New Vegas, check out our prologue. It's got a lot of it.
Yes, it does. All right. Let's see Calamity in action. Anyone? Okay, I'm not going to play. Okay, there we go. All right, let me take a moment now, set the scene one more time. You heard Watcher tell you to go to Prim. Now, for everyone, from all of you guys who have played the prologue, there's a text box that appears at the end. It says you need to wait to a response from Script Legacy. By the way, You can't just go into the game right now and play what you're about to see. It's not live yet, so the prologue is all there is. I've had a few comments online that part got missed.
Well,
It's not World of Warcraft where you can just hit accept for all quest boxes. Now, I'm saying that as like years and years playing World of Warcraft. All right, so you were sent to Prim. While in Prim, you investigate the area and you find a note from Calamity, basically saying, "Hey, after the Powder Gangers hit the town, I noticed these new guys showing up." And I can't do Calamity's voice. I'm not even going to try. I won't insult you with that. I noticed these guys coming in town, grabbed a bunch of people, and skedaddled down there. I'm going after them. If you want to come and have some fun, kill some raiders with me, I'm game. So, let's go kill some raiders with Calamity. It's like Calamity's already having fun without us.
I mean, I left that note for y'all a long time ago.
You all saw what down, I think. Probably leave him alone.
Come on, into ammo.
I like shooting legs. Bye-bye, boy. Gotta love those kill shots, right? Calamity's being sneaky. He doesn't trust you.
Thanks for the help. I'm guessing you ain't with him?
What do you want me to say?
Let's hold on. Show of hands. Option 1.
Option 1. Option 2.
1 takes it.
1 takes it. What gave me away? Was it the shooting them in the head part or lack of TNT in my hand? Oh, cool. I actually shot one of the guys in the head.
Well, that and you ain't shooting at me.
1. 2. 1's have it.
Well, thank you kindly for the assist, but ain't got time for small talk. I got bigger problems to worry about.
Who wants 2?
These varmints hit Prim last night after the Powder Gangers went in. I was going to take out the damn fools who attacked the Bison Steve, but when I heard them talking about hostages, Prim folks ain't much for fighting. The way they'd hold up in that building, obvious they'd written them folks off. That ain't my style.
All right, we got 4 different options here. So you come down here alone, guns blazing. You got to be some sort of crazy. You've got guts to try and do the solo. Why do you even care? Who wants 1?
1 for
1 guy wants 1.
Okay.
2. Why did I
Good
know that was
majority.
going to... 3. Ooh. Which one had that one?
Well,
4. Oh, damn. You guys are making this hard. All right, let's do this again. 2. 3. Let's 2's have it. You got to be some kind of crazy.
y'all say that like it's a bad thing or something. Anyway, ain't
Good
like
point.
anyone's
Good
gonna
choice.
miss a bunch of raiders.
Well, that's 4. Good. We're doing
The
4.
only thing I have against them is them breathing. It's my policy to make sure that stops right quick.
All right, who's going for 1? Who's going for 2? Oh, wow.
Clear majority. Now, ain't that a thing? Ain't it obvious? We shoot 'em till they don't move no more.
Who wants 1? Who wants 2? 2's have it, I think. I'm going to do 2.
Plenty of time for yapping later. After we're topside with all them hostages.
All right. Now, since I happen to design this, I'm gonna skip a few. I'm gonna skip wandering for a few areas and just move on right along.
Again, disclaimer: what you're seeing is beta footage. Some of this may be subject to change.
Especially anything bad. If you see anything bad, that's gonna change. All the good stuff? Yeah, that was all me.
Believe it or not, we've done what we can to address those as best we can.
You
But
don't want to know what I've done for the bugs of this.
our coders are not happy with this. They're happy with the product, but not the request.
I'm one of the coders, by the way. I'm project lead and everything else. Oh, by the way, we didn't introduce myself. I'm Novel Idea. I'm project lead and creative director. This is Evan Quill. What do you do?
Audio director. Sorry.
Evan,
Audio director and world building writer and man of many hats.
quest designer as well.
Oh, yeah.
Get your round. He is my right hand man. I want a round of applause for this guy. Now let's open this hatch and kill some raiders. Now you're going to be seeing guns in here that will not be released with this patch. I just do this just so you guys can have a little bit more fun. Ever heard of a silenced shotgun? You want to know how it works? Magic. I'm not kidding. It's magic. I'm dead serious.
So these guns are going to be released throughout the.
Had enough.
Every chapter is going to have something interesting in it.
Peekaboo.
Given how close we are to the kids, we've disabled gore for this one.
Yes. There aren't any actual kids in this room, are there?
Nope.
Oh, good. I should have checked that beforehand.
It's an older meme, sir, but it checks out.
I blame monochromatic for this being my favorite weapon. You can see why if you look at this barrel. Stop. Way too damn dark. Damn it. Let's do it.
Had enough.
You have
Again?
any idea how hard that actually is? I actually
What?
have someone who's I'm gonna try. I actually am gonna try.
Again, these models are all, especially the guns that we're using, all of these guns and effects are subject to change until the actual chapter that they're in comes out.
Okay. Now, just so you know, yes, this is a Zebra rifle. Yes, it does put things on fire. I didn't write it. You're gonna have to talk to K-Cat for that, not me. It does light things on fire. Unfortunately, it doesn't light things on fire with the settings it's on. Actually, we're gonna use that. Ragdoll physics at work, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Actually, I should rename it Bucky McGill. That would be a really good rename.
Only if y'all are going to bring in Kicks McGee.
Well, maybe that's the high power then. I don't
These
know.
are real
Which one's the
workhorses.
favorite? Who likes Bucky and who likes Kicks? Kicks? All right, we're gonna do Kicks.
Ah.
Let's bring out
So-
Spitfire.
So what we're looking at is what happens when you do a dead-on assault on a raider lair. Turns out them knowing their territory better than you works out about like this.
Yeah, especially when it's freaking dark. But thankfully, Calamity's a better shot than me. Because I didn't even fire a shot.
We do what we can.
Get it. Hold on. There we go. I can do it. Hold on. And yes, I'm not playing with any cheats, so
Oh, yeah.
I could very easily die.
No cheats. This is all as it's scripted. So this is a very challenging fight.
Come on. Says you. Just stop words. You know what? From the hip. No, that was Spitfire's Thunder. I'm not feeling subtle today. Yeah, unfortunately, I tried to do that. Fallout New Vegas doesn't have the ability to do that. I was really disappointed. Shooting at someone. I should probably shoot at him, too. I think I got the last shot. Calamity's a pretty good wingman.
Well, thank you.
It would be nice if he once in a while told me, oh, by the way, there's a guy over here trying to put a bullet through your brain.
Look, if y'all ain't going to see him, I'm just going to ventilate him.
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
Yes, I have a thing with changing weapons. It comes from being doing too much testing. It's gonna be too far.
You like that? You like that?
Ragdoll physics, baby. All right, can't help these guys until the visionaries take care of them. So let's go ventilate some more, or just punch, like that. Sorry, did I take your shot? All right, time for Blue Macintosh. Think I can make that shot?
I mean, if you don't, I will.
Nope, need one. That must be a really good hockey mask.
Come on!
Alright.
Come on!
Landing. He'll be fine, he'll be fine, he'll be fine.
There are plenty of seats. Just come on in and sit down.
Sorry, he's out. Don't you love how just everyone just stops and takes a breather when you do this hit button? By the way, that was the boss.
Isn't it nice to have overpowered guns at this point?
That's how we do it down the farm.
Curry, y'all ever own a farm?
All right, let's go free some hostages, shall we? For some reason, I happen to know where all the hostages are. No, thank you. Nothing. You're just gonna leave.
No. That would normally affect your rank, not karma, but faction rating with Calamity. But we haven't gotten it.
Yeah, here's a fun fact. One of the planned things is if you're one of those evil people who decide to side with the Legion, Calamity doesn't like you very much. He's going to show you how much he doesn't like you with his gun when you first meet him. Seriously, this is starting to piss me off. I have a... Okay, fine, just leave it. No. Yeah, no shit. That'd be rude. I love that Spitfire's thunder is like literally the size of the character. Go on. Shoot. You ain't gonna talk to me, just go. See if I can.
So I mentioned the texture replacements. This one doesn't really have that many.
I'm
yet.
gonna show him a couple in a minute.
Yep. I'm just saying that overall, where we are right now, there isn't much yet.
You're basing it in an old mining facility, so, well, the supervisor there is kind of a jerk. He didn't let them put up much cool stuff.
The boss and the rest of them should be down there. You ready?
1, 2.
Ooh, I think 2 has that one.
2 has that.
Look, you handled yourself mighty well back there. I respect folk who know the way around a firefight. Just wanted to say that. And by the way, the name's Calamity.
12.
Glad that's over. You want point? By all means, lead the way.
I'm gonna show you a little bit of art before we head down to the next. Tell me that's not perfect.
You can find a lot of things like this throughout the game if you...
Yep. In fact, speaking of which, here's something to give you nightmares tonight. Guess whose face it's gonna be? I gotta turn around, sorry. Okay, I'm done. Also, I want to give major props to our art designer who did these pieces, such as this. I think this is like freaking gorgeous.
He has done, I think, 17 custom art pieces on his own, and did a complete retexturing of the New Vegas sign. If you have the prologue installed and you actually go to New Vegas, you'll find it's actually New Pegasus now.
Yeah, you can actually go to the classic New Vegas sign that you're all used to. It doesn't say New Vegas anymore.
So again, lots of stuff. If all you want is a little equestrian in your life, you can a little bit of both.
All right. Well, that's actually it for the demo. I'm sorry, I can't give you the final section. It was, frankly, just too much to code before PC. But actually, what I will give you guys, and you guys only, to know what you're actually after. You find out, Clammy ends up telling you, look, I had this gun. I was holding on to it for a friend. Some jerk managed to get a lucky shot off and blasted it off my hip. It's got 3 apples on the hilt. So we got to go get it. You end this mission, and your reward is Little Macintosh. You got to earn it, though, because the boss has it, and he's going to use it against you.
So if you've ever wondered what it's like to be on the receiving end of that sucker.
That damn gun, you're about to find out. Okay. So you guys like it? What do you think? What do you think?
All right. So I think at this point we're going to be opening up for a little bit of Q&A. What we're going to do is we're going to go by raise of hand, and I think we have a staffer, Ben, back there. He's very, very nice. He's going to come by with a microphone.
Way nicer than we deserve.
All right. So first, I believe you had your hand up, and then we're going to be coming over to you. Oh, and be sure to introduce yourself.
Mic check.
Hi, I'm Zephyrin. I've already played the prologue plus the other one that you guys released as well. And I also have other mods that give me both Little Macintosh, the Zebra Rifle, and Spitfire in Fallout New Vegas. Were those mods done by you as well?
You, my friend. Those Spitfire's. Let me talk about Spitfire's Thunder first. Spitfire's Thunder was actually an abandoned mod that we have officially adopted. So we have taken over that one. That the mod will remain as a standalone. I will say that I don't recommend, if you want like the full experience, you're gonna actually want to earn it through the game. Every single one of these weapons is earned at a specific point in the game.
Moreover, since it was an abandoned mod, if you have that mod, that one's not going to be patched anymore, and ours will be. So
Yes.
all right, we had a fellow with the.
Oh, actually, one more thing to add to that. For Little Macintosh and the Zebra Rifle, we got permission from the original creator to those. Those are actually direct ports from the Fallout 3 version. So those are actually the same guns.
Hello, Nymphanon here. Have you considered going and working with EVE or Weapon Mods Remastered and Expanded?
We actually have a member on our team who goes by the name of TG Spy, who is close friends with the guy who developed EVE, and my hope is to work with him to get a lot more like custom weapon styles, stuff like that. But it's very much a work in progress.
Currently, he's consulting with us. He's
Yes.
when we bring an idea, he first laughs uproariously and then says, "Okay, but really, if you want to get it done, here's what you might want to consider." So he's been working with our coding team to develop these ideas, just as a consultant.
He's also telling me everything I'm doing wrong in level design. He's very, very good at telling me everything I've done wrong in level design. What you're seeing right now is our preview trailer, so please continue.
I have little to no experience with the modding community for this, and I was just wondering what the scope of this is considered to be, whereas I'm not going to compare it to regular Fallout DLC, because that's pretty insane, the amount of stuff they do with that, and you guys are a small
Well,
team.
that would be a more fair idea than normal. Modding side, you mentioned that you're not very familiar with modding side, so I'm not going to use any examples of those as to what our scope is. Our scope with this, upon its completion, should be about the same amount of gameplay as Old World Blues.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it has about 90 different levels, including an entirely new world space. And every character will be voiced. Even if I have to do them all. I really hope I don't have to do Velvet. That would be really awkward.
Way in the back, got the hat.
You're seeing some of that area right here.
Hi, I'm Kerbu. Have a question kind of regarding playstyle and companion control, because and everything we saw there was kind of just running and gun, and I've always played very slow stealth and everything. Do we still have the option to tell our companions or whoever we're on missions with to stay back and stay quiet, or are they just going to run in and start shooting things and alert everything in the building to shoot at me?
This is these are going to be fully playable companions, just hopefully like all the other companions in the game. So they will, if you tell them to do a certain play style, they will accomplish that. We just had we approached that, we would have eaten up most of the time we were here just with the playthrough. So we couldn't afford to do that. Sorry.
The other thing is, you're familiar with the companion wheel? The one thing I forgot to show is that's fully active on Calamity. So all of those features that you're used to should be fully active. In fact, that level was originally intended to be a sniper level, but I forgot to put in cover in the opening sequence so they see you and just start shooting you.
I'm Murby. Are you aware of the total conversion mod for Skyrim called Enderal?
Total conversion mod for
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
I saw this, and that's what I thought of when I saw this was this total conversion. But it turns Skyrim to a different game called Enderal.
I am not familiar with that,
Sorry, I'm not either.
but that is an excellent question.
Requires
If there's
research.
something that you think that would be interesting from that, I would love to talk to you more about it so we can kind of. Oh,
No, it's not like that. But do you remember the really big new land that they did for Skyrim? That's the scope of this.
all right. Oh, here we go. And then in the front after this.
I'm Dan. Where can we get this mod? Is it available on the Steam Workshop, or do we have to download it from a site?
This is actually going to be through Nexus Mods.
Steam Workshop isn't available for New Vegas.
All right.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
We tried.
Yeah. In fact, you can find Smuggler's Run and the prologue on there right now. Well, hopefully not right now. Hopefully you stay for the end of the panel. But you can go after. I'm totally okay with that.
And then I believe.
Hey, Age. Quick question. So, I've never really seen much of these before in general. So, how does the pipeline usually work? With
That's a lovely question.
I guess just slim it down. Basically, like coding, art. I understand throwing it all together kind of goes along the way, but what does the general company, I guess, as a whole, start with first? I guess.
Well, this project has gone through many very different cycles of. It started with just me being bored and having a brain injury, and this is how I cope with it. I'm not kidding. This actually came from a concussion. So that's how you get ahead in game design, by the way. You get a concussion. I know I will not sign. I know. Anyway, one of our first projects for this, and there are very many different ways that you can approach game design, is you want to come up with the general concept. Like with each of these levels, they're designed to be focused around a specific companion, a specific environment, and specific idea. That last one you just saw was Prim Basement. It's a 200-year-old mining facility that's being slowly brought back to life by a group called the Visionaries. You're also going to run into like cutting-edge futuristic facilities that have been maintained by automated robots for the last 200 years. So they are spick and span. Okay.
Bringing it back.
Okay.
We were talking about pipelines.
So basically what happened is the level design process ended last September.
Yep.
After that, we have gone into more refinement of the dialogue, starting the voice acting, and we're doing it basically by chapter. That's why we're releasing this as kind of an episodic thing, because if we wait until it was all done, you guys would be waiting until like 2047. I'm not that patient. So now we're at the point now that all the level design is we're scripting in the combat, we're scripting in the NPCs, we're scripting in quest lines, all that jazz, and all those stuff happen kind of roughly at the same time until they get to the point of merging together to make sure it actually tests, because QA usually is the most critical part, and where we find where everything's broken, go back and fix it and spend another 6 weeks.
After QA gets the ball, basically, that's when I take over as audio director, and so on. We start getting the NPCs voiced. We start getting the ambient audio working, the music doing what it needs to, so that's happening while the coders are finishing up the behind-the-scenes polish. It's now for us in front of the camera, basically, to start getting things looking nice. So, all in all, this was about 6 months of work.
There's a lot of different software development models. This is kind of an agile model, like a really
if you squint
tweaked.
and look at it.
It's honestly something we made up as we went along. Please continue.
Yep. There was another hand up in the middle range. There we are. And then so it was person with the hat, fell in the back, and then over here.
Hi, my name is Kay, or Free Shipping. I don't care. My question to you is, what inspires you to do this? Like, besides Fallout Equestria, of course, because this kind of thing must take, like, something to be able to make it that inspiration.
I can't nod enough.
Madness, primarily.
Did I tell you it took a concussion?
No.
Okay.
But no, in a more real way, we would like... Novel has a story he wants to tell, and his vision is enough to keep us inspired and working to tell that story. So he says, this is looking at the story document, we haven't touched the surface yet. There's a lot more to come. But
as you can see,
seeing, taking his vision and making it so that it's available for everybody to play and do as they will, that's what actually keeps us going on the other side, is to make sure that the product is out there and as good as we can.
The other aspect of this is to get into game development, whatever company you want, if it's Bethesda, if it's Riot, if it's Obsidian, pick one. I'm wearing Overwatch, Blizzard. You basically need this kind of experience.
Yeah.
I've taken a few classes on this. I've taken a few seminars, and they have basically said, if you aren't doing this kind of thing and want to get into game development, you're doing it wrong.
John Carmack of id famously said, I don't want to see your resume. I want you to show me what levels you've designed. I want you to show me how many unique downloads you have. If you can make something good, I want you on my team. So this is the other part of it, is getting into the game dev.
So this is actually my resume. And this is, I also hope, the resume of single one of my team members.
Yep. We're
This
working
is a
on
big deal.
On the voice side, we're working on making sure that all of our VAs are credited wherever we can.
And our artists.
Artists are credited everywhere. But we're pushing for things like IMDb pages for people, for our VAs. We discovered that things like Turnabout Storm had VA pages, had like credits on IMDb, and if they can do it, we can. So, right.
Does that answer your question? Okay.
Happy to help. So, fellow back one, yeah, and then there was a question over here, and then.
Please don't have a shootout over the question.
We'll try not to. Sunsage. So you mentioned audio a little earlier. Actually, I was curious about that. You originally find out about the quest from radio, about the whole scenario. Is that going to be an ongoing thing? Or I assume updates. But also, are we going to get music for this? Are we going to get news updates for this? Sort of like we got with radio in general in all the Fallout games.
It's funny that you asked that because, and part of the prologue, you have, how many songs are there?
A lot.
There is a full-blown radio station of MLP-inspired music by groups such as the Aviators, including our own custom song that's ironically called This Coming Storm, which is inspired by Steelhooves and Applejack's song.
his definition of complete radio station and my definition differs somewhat. We have all the songs, and we are working on, with the VA, getting DJ Pwn 3 to give quest updates, to give news updates, to give just turning an actual full
So
Fallout
like
style.
3 Dog.
Yeah.
3 Dog style.
So we currently have just the music, but we are planning to have a full radio station.
To the point where you will actually get to meet DJ Pwn 3.
All right, and then whoa, take that over here. Yes.
Eventually.
Richard's question, for those who may not have heard it, was how long does the process take? That depends wildly. The prologue from inception to completion was 24 months.
Well, a lot. It's kind of hard to make a good judgment call on that. For instance, like I've been doing level design, like the primary level design wrapped in September, and I've been working on it for 18 months, I think. Yeah, I was doing that like every single day nonstop, and we're talking hours a day. But it takes even more time to do like the coding, and especially we have a team that goes from the south coast of Australia to the east coast of the United States, and time zones suck. So getting everyone to kind of mesh together and work together, it's kind of hard to define because there's a lot of waiting in between.
But the prologue, which has a lot of the groundwork that we needed to get out of the way first, that took much longer than this did. This is 6 months down the road. We aren't going to give an estimated arrival date other than tentatively 2018, we hope. But it is going to take less time than the prologue, and as we go, barring a couple major exceptions, which we will talk about later, are going to be...
Don't ask about Chapter 4.
Or, anyway.
2.
It will normally speed up as we get more and more assets out there to the public that we no longer have to, invent from whole cloth.
Yeah.
So currently, 6 to 8 months, but there was a lot of groundwork to get to that point.
The key is that the main foundation for a lot of it is already there. Now it's putting all the pieces in place and getting all of the VAs and scripts working, which is a lot more work than just creating pretty looking levels that you're looking at right now.
I sure wish I was herding cats. Fellow at the back with the white shirt. Yep.
The main question I have is, I noticed you showed a lot of the stuff for the original Fallout Equestria in your game. Do you plan to incorporate anything from the Project Horizon story as well? Because I'd love to fire Trottenheimer's Folly.
Well,
let me answer this one. We are not considering the events of Project Horizons to be canon to this. Well, I'm sorry. That being said, I eventually want to do a second sequel to this, and there's a good chance Paladin Sugar Bombs is going to show up in that. I just freaking love that character. He will show up in some way. I will also say that Somber was cool enough to complete the magazine collection. So KCAT did all the books, like did ponifications of all of the books in Fallout, but Somber did all the magazines. Those magazines are in here. So you're not going to get to fight again with Blackjack. I'm sorry. But not going to happen. No. No. Your job is to save people from city killing guns.
I mean, but wouldn't y'all want to actually have a challenge rather than just point and click? Anyway. All right. I think hand here, and then hand here, and then hand here.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask, what do you think conceptually about the balance and gameplay of this mod? Like, are you going to make the enemies later on more menacing, like the Enclave? Are you going to make some of these modded weapons balanced in a way so they're not, the terribly balanced weapon mods you might see out there?
That's really tricky. The issue that we have to approach this from is we don't know when the player is going to be coming into this. There is kind of a set assumption of social contract made with the player, especially with this late in New Vegas's life cycle. It came out almost 10 years ago, if not 10 years ago.
There's also another Fallout game, but I don't remember what it was.
But so it's kind of assumed that the player knows what they're getting themselves into. So the NPCs are set at sort of a higher difficulty. The combat's tuned for more of a skill set that a player may have at this point. But we can't guarantee that. So barring certain high security areas, we can't just say, well, everyone's going to know what they're doing. So we have to construct around player experience.
Let me actually add to that, because I've been the one who's been doing all the combat balance, and I can say it for the prologue. I spent probably a good week straight of trying to get it feel natural. One of the problems is that Fallout New Vegas does not have a good system for handling scaling levels. So you can come in at level 5 or level 50, you're going to have radically different experiences. What's one of our goals is to make it so it's approachable no matter what level you come in, whether you come with a character that you played 6 years ago, or you come with a character that's brand new. Our goal is that both of those are approachable, and you can do either one. But whether we'll actually be able to approach that goal with the systems that are in place with Fallout New Vegas, I can't say that for sure yet. But it is something we're always working towards. So, we're trying.
All right. And question over here.
Yep.
We had one over on that side, yeah?
Oh, we have one too.
Fill up the hat.
So you were joking earlier a bit before about basically if you were waiting to release it until everything was finished, you'd not be done until you wouldn't have anything shown until 2047. But that leads me to wonder, are you looking to see this through to completion? It does seem to have a very broad scope. You said something about 90 missions, something like that.
90 levels.
90 levels, sorry. And it does seem that with such an ambitious scope, do you truly intend to see it all the way through to completion? You're already talking about possibly having sequels, but we're very early into the process of the first one anyway.
I mean, this has kind of been my baby for over 2.5 years now. And that's a question that's come up every single panel we've done. And it's a completely legitimate question that I fully understand, because we've all seen people who basically their eyes are too big for their stomachs, and they start something massive, they start something huge, and they just can't finish it. And I now understand those people more than you can possibly believe. I intend to see this through. I can't give you anything other than I really want to. I will happily admit there are days where I want to burn the thing to the ground because I'm just so frustrated or so tired. But I also know that then I think about, I'll bring up one of the pictures of these panels and looking at your faces, and you guys are very good at guilt tripping me into getting back to work. So it is our very hope to keep this going. There's going to be a lot of fluctuation in our team. I am positive of it. We've already replaced the entire board of directors since I initially started. But I'm still here. So.
And we're here for the duration.
Yeah.
There was one here, and then one there, and then I think that's going to be about all we can fit in for the Q&A section.
Hey there, that's Scott here. And just wanted to ask, you said you're using voice actors, right? Are they professional voice actors? Are you using people up and coming? What's your goal for the voice actors?
That's an excellent question. We take the voices we get. We have actually one professional VA on staff, but she hasn't done video games before, and she has only done very minor roles. But she does have an IMDb page. She have her. I think she has. I don't remember if she has her. I don't remember her full qualifications, but she is a professional in the field. That said, given the nature of the project, most of the people involved are fans. So it's primarily amateur cast, but whoever we get, we get.
I'll take anyone. Hey, if I can do voice acting, anyone in this room can.
I mean,
we
unfortunately,
don't.
no
money.
funds. Oh, there was one other question. I think who. Oh, yep.
Oh,
there we go.
right back.
we're going to come full circle.
Hi, me again. I was curious about, so Fallout Equestria takes place as basically a parody of Fallout 3, the way it starts and a few of the organizations that are within it. What made you want to put it in Fallout New Vegas, which is basically Project Horizons?
Well, actually, let me tell you, this isn't Fallout Equestria. This isn't Project Horizons. This is a completely new story. This is a story inspired by it. In fact, this happens after the events of Fallout Equestria. So you're going to, I can't tell you more without blowing huge sections of the story for you, but I will say that this, while there are definitely parallels to it, such as Calamity being it, in fact, my original plan was Calamity was going to shoot you. It was going to shoot the courier, just shoot him the moment he walked in the door. And I said, that's not actually very fun to suddenly just get shot by your companion, just like he shot Little Pip. But it is an original story inspired by Fallout Equestria. It isn't a direct one-to-one translation. So nice thing is, we're not worried about that.
All right.
I think that's all the time we have.
We have a
right?
little bit, but yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Let me actually bring up something. We are always recruiting. If you guys know, if you guys are scripters, modelers, level designers, artists, we need artists. Please, for the love of God, give us artists.
2D assets, 3D assets, textures. If you don't know how to do it, but you have, if you're an artist and you wanted to get started with this, we will be taking we will be taking applications wherever you see us, basically. We have, but gardensofequestria.com, sign up there. If you want to do voice acting, we are recruiting for that. We don't have specific roles open. We can't say that we are doing Little Pip or that we are doing Calamity or that we are doing anybody else.
There are tons of others.
If you send, we are, again, fully voice acted. So you can be random NPC number 7. You might end up as Steelhooves. We don't know.
I hope Steelhooves. He was awesome.
Yeah, we have a really good Steelhooves voice actor. But if he has to drop out for whatever reason, we would love anybody. Understudies are amazing. We would love to have them.
Yeah. So if you guys want to get into game design, this is kind of one of the things. Now, I'm not saying the only way to get into game design is join this project. I'm not that arrogant. But this is the way to do it. If you want to learn what it's like to kind of be in one of those teams and figure out if that's for you, this is the best way to do it. And I have learned more than I probably ever wanted to from leading this project. Like, I never expected to be here.
All right, so I think that will wrap it up. We definitely thank you for coming down.
Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. I'm utterly thrilled that this many of you guys decided to take time out of your day to come in. So thank you so much.